Fellow Falcoholics, what is up? Welcome to the Falcoholic Lives Falcons at Cardinals post-game special. I am, of course, your host, Kevin Knight, joined tonight by my co-host, Mr. Adnan Ikic, and probably at some point by another friend of ours, Evan Birchfield. You know him from the Wednesday shows. I'm almost at a loss for how to describe Falcons' losses at this point, but before we dive into that, I'll have to ask Adnan, aside from the Falcons game, how are you doing?
Surprisingly better than expected.
Yeah.
I've taken enough losses this season to the point where it's not even a big deal anymore. It just rolls off my back right now. And, it's draft season. So this could end up being a massive, massive loss for draft purposes.
Yeah.
It's October. Fired up. It's draft season.
Exactly. Yeah, we're like T-minus 2 losses from, total draft talk because, once you hit 9-7, those playoff games are not, they're not happening. So I think it's very realistic to be looking at 1-7 going into the bye at this point. So
I will be shocked if they win, if they are not 1-7 going into the bye.
Yeah.
Absolutely shocked.
Yeah, I agree. It's real bad. It's real bad. Obviously Matt Bryant was the visible face of this loss, but it's not really his fault. I think if you wanted to point the finger at someone other than the Falcons, which you probably shouldn't do, but if you were in that business, you could definitely blame the officiating for some of this because, it was really, really bad. There were a multitude of missed calls that nullified two turnovers for the Falcons that they would have had. That obviously would have probably made a difference in this game. But at the same time, you can't look at the defense and not be like, okay, this team is not winning any games with the defense in its current state. They're not going to be able to stop anyone against good offenses. They're going to get shredded like they did against the Texans. Even the Titans and Marcus Mariota shred this defense. And guess what? The Titans just got shut out and benched Mariota in their game, their 4 o'clock game. So the Falcons defense probably was responsible for Mariota starting at least 2 more games when he probably... Remember, there was talk of them benching Mariota coming into the Falcons game, and the Falcons were so bad against him that they bought him extra time.
I have literally been streaming defenses against the Tennessee Titans for the past 3 weeks of fantasy football, including the Falcons, and that bit me in the ass, to be honest.
Yeah.
But the Tennessee Titans are absolutely awful on offense, and Marcus Mariota in particular is one of the worst quarterbacks in the NFL. You just have to call it like you see it at this point. I don't care what he did at Oregon. I don't care that he was a 2nd overall draft pick. Alex Smith was a number 1 overall draft pick in 2005. And I watched the Tennessee Titans bang their heads against the wall and not even make it to midfield throughout that entire game today with Marcus Mariota under center. And we made Mariota look like Joe Montana to the tune of 3 or 4 touchdown passes.
Yeah.
They put up 27 or 28 points on us. Yeah, it's kind of getting hard to count, to track how many points opposing offenses have been scoring against the Atlanta Falcons defense week in and week out as Dan Quinn gets outcoached week in and week out. So it just solidifies the fact that this defense is just absolutely horrendous, and they showcased that yet again this game. Matt Bryant missed the field goal. I get it. He deserves some blame, definitely not all of it. You're the kicker. It's your job to make that. But this defense gave up 34 points in this game. This defense gave up over 300 yards in the first half. This defense let David Johnson leak out and have nobody within 40 yards of him on a 3rd and 9 on the 2nd drive of the game. So... yeah,
there's so many things. There's so many things to cover with the defense, right? You mentioned a couple of them, but there was more. I talked about this on Wednesday, and I know you weren't here for it, so I'll say it again. But it seems like Dan Quinn is having the opposite reaction to what he should be doing. Your secondary is getting destroyed every week. No one seems to know what they're doing in this complicated zone coverage that they're playing. So what I would do in that situation is be like, all right, we're gonna send additional pressure, we're gonna get to the quarterback, and we're gonna play straight up man and just try to like contest some throws and maybe cause some turnovers because the offense actually looks good now. So maybe if we score 30 plus a week on offense, we could scrape out some wins, which they've now scored 30 points in 2 straight games and lost both of them. For reference's sake, folks, the Falcons' historic offense in 2016 averaged only 34 points a game. So 30 plus points scoring is a lot in the NFL, and if you can't win games scoring 30 plus points, you're not going to win any games. Like, if your defense is giving up more than that, that's just abysmal, and that's what we've seen. And it seems like Quinn has steered the ship. He saw the hurricane in the distance. He was like, oh, that looks interesting. That hurricane looks fast and physical. Like, let's get over there. And then, now the ship is, of course, taking on water. And instead of, being like, hey, we need to aggressively go, this other direction, he's like, no. If we just go straight through it, maybe we'll reach the eye of the storm, okay, and then it'll be totally clear and good. And it's not working out. That was a very complicated analogy. I apologize, but getting meteorological here on the show. But the point stands.
I'm just gonna say this: not firing Dan Quinn after that Titans loss cost us this season, because I'm not looking at this season as anything that can be salvaged anymore. We're 1-5. You have to play the Rams and the Seahawks in your next 2 games in front of a half-empty Mercedes-Benz Stadium, and I don't blame fans for not showing up to watch this, not taking out a second mortgage on their house for season tickets for this to watch.
Oh, we have lost Adnan briefly. I'm sure he'll be back. Don't worry, folks. Mid take too. How sad. All right. Well, yes, I echo his point about the not expecting fans to show up to watch a 1-5 team when the tickets are so darn expensive. I mean, it is ridiculous how highly they're priced. And I 100% agree with what he's saying. It's bad football.
Hello?
All right. Yeah, are you back?
Yeah, did my connection cut off for a second?
Yeah, I lost your feed for a couple seconds there, but
yeah, I think my Wi-Fi went down for a second. Sorry about that.
No,
guys.
It's okay. Mid take too. Oh man. Okay, continue.
Man, I was really going somewhere.
All right. No, so the last thing you said was you were understanding if the fans didn't want to show up to these games.
I'm understanding if they don't want to show up. We're playing the Rams and Seahawks in the next 2 games. The Panthers look really good. We have to play them twice. The New Orleans Saints look really good. We have to play them twice. And I wouldn't be surprised if the Bucs dropped 40 on this defense if Dan Quinn is still the head coach, which at this point, if you're going to fire Dan Quinn, you should have done it by now. At this point, I'm fine with letting Dan Quinn steer this ship into the iceberg and let us get a top 5 pick out of it.
Right. At least like the hashtag win just one for Young is alive, okay? And once we win another game, I'm going to have to find another hashtag. But for now, I'm sticking with that one.
It's a great hashtag, but I would rather go 3-13 this season.
I mean,
beating the Saints twice. I'll never want to tank against the Saints. But
no, that's true.
I am not above rooting for a tank for a top draft pick, especially if the playoffs are out of reach, which they are at this point. I am not above that. I will shamelessly admit that.
Yeah, I mean, that's a thing in the NBA. It's not really been a thing in the NFL until this season where we've seen the Dolphins kind of totally embrace it and just look terrible. And the Falcons apparently have not embraced it, but they look terrible anyway, so maybe nothing matters. But it's embarrassing to see the product that Dan Quinn puts on the field when he knows his job is on the line. And that, to me, screams that he doesn't have any idea how to fix it. He doesn't even really understand what's wrong, because if he understood what's wrong, we would have seen adjustments. And they just keep doubling down on the same losing strategy.
Every week.
Yeah.
Every single week. I saw some nice 3-man rushes out there. We'll get to the pass rushers soon enough.
Yes.
And, just the nice zone defense. Can't blame injuries for any of this at this point. These are Dan Quinn's guys. Dan Quinn has almost hand-selected all of these guys out there. And, you give up 34 to the Cardinals, the lowly Arizona Cardinals. You give up 53 to the Texans, which I get it. One was a pick 6.
Yeah.
We haven't even mentioned the fact that Matt Ryan went out there, threw for 358 yards, 4 touchdowns, a pass rating of over 140, and he lost the game.
Oh
Like,
God!
that's
Don't talk to me
insane.
about Matt Ryan throwing perfect games and losing. Okay, like that's gonna bring back bad memories. So
Yeah, well, I mean, in the Super Bowl, his pass rating was 148, but
yeah, I've been waiting for the Matt Ryan sucks comments in the thread. So so far I have not seen any. This is a miracle, but
because nobody in their right mind can say that he sucks after that game.
yeah, they gotta wait till he throws like a pick or something, and then it's his fault. So
Like, Matt Ryan deserves so much better than what Dan Quinn has given him. Deserves so much better than what Mike Smith gave him.
yeah,
It's going to be such a shame when this man retires, having looked back on this career where just everything around him just never worked out. He has had weapons, don't get me wrong, but his defense is what has won championships year in and year out in the NFL most years. His defense has never been, I think twice it's been better than bottom 12 in the NFL.
yeah.
in his
Otherwise, it's
career.
been just train wreck every single
Yeah,
year.
2 or 3 times. You can even pinpoint it. In 2012, I think they were 17th. In 2017, it was the 10th ranked defense, and in 2016.
2017 was when they had that good year.
2017 was top 10. 2015 was the year where they were, I think, 16th, but that's only because they played against backup quarterbacks week in and
Yeah,
week
they
out.
did, and they still lost. But yes, I mean, yeah. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Strategy King. Thank you for throwing in the Ryan Pads' stats. He is not a championship
what a
quarterback.
take.
Thank you. Okay, I know. I was waiting for that all night.
How dare Matt Ryan pad his stats?
How dare he try to
Almost
like
win
get
the
back
game
in the
out
game,
there.
and how dare he have a lead at halftime last week and like tie the game at one point this week? He's just a dirty stat patter, but maybe blame the defense for his stat padding, because they're the ones giving up 35 points. The defense is really making this all work for Matt Ryan. It's really a brilliant strategy, I think.
He could throw for 5,000 this year. I'd like to see that.
That would be nice. So, but yeah, I mean, it's really sad to see that the defense has not made any steps forward. In fact, it seems to look worse every week. And I think it basically boils down to Quinn being totally unwilling to adjust his scheme, which he has adjusted it to an extent. Like, he's gotten less aggressive and played a lot more coverage, which is the opposite of what you should be doing when your secondary is struggling big time. Like, Ricardo Allen is struggling. I think he's trying to cover up for everyone else's mistakes, but he's struggling. Trufant was out of this game, so that obviously is not great. Isaiah Oliver is a disaster, partially because of how he's been utilized. Exactly the opposite of how I would deploy him, but whatever. The pass rush can't get a sack to save their damn lives. I mean, it's just a disaster at all. Devondre Campbell has just been awful. I mean, he's been just downright terrible.
Yeah, it'll be good riddance when he goes. Hey, on the bright side, at least we didn't pay Devondre Campbell.
Yeah. I know there were a lot of fans that really wanted him to stick around, and he has at times looked like a good linebacker, but this year, just a disaster.
I always figured, like, even a few years ago, looking down the line, Devondre Campbell and Tevin Coleman would be the guys we'd have to part ways with, just to to cover up, to give extensions to everyone else. And Devondre Campbell's made that super easy.
Yeah.
Because
he's blown our comp pick, though. Way to go.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah. Probably going to get like a 6 at this point.
I mean, you won't get a comp pick from Vic Beasley either.
Vic Beasley's going to be like unsigned. Yeah. Dan Quinn's going to go to Seattle, and they're going to sign him to like a 1-year, $1 million deal, and he's going to get like 1 sack for them. But it'll be fine because they only paid him $1 million. God, remember we had a breaking news show when they came out and announced that they were not going to cut Beasley, and we were like, this is a really bad move. This could be what gets Quinn fired. And everything that's sprung from this. They could have gotten Preston Smith, Zadarius Smith, these guys that have like lit it up in Green Bay. I think both of those guys are making about the same amount as Beasley this year. That's
Justin Houston.
Yeah.
The guy from Tampa Bay who leads the league in sacks right now.
Yeah. To be fair, nobody wanted him. Okay, like he's getting what, like $2 million in Tampa Bay. Like, he was an undrafted free agent who just has had an explosive season.
That's a cool 11 mil less than Vic Beasley.
Exactly. So, like, good on the Bucs for finding him. That's all. I mean, I'm glad for him to have the season he's having. But like, I'm not blaming them for not signing a guy that basically was a street free agent. So, I mean, but at the same time,
I'm looking at Vic Beasley, and Where where's your sense of pride if you're Vic Beasley at this point? If you don't do it for yourself, at least do it for the guy who went to bat for you. And Dan Quinn stuck his neck out for Vic Beasley over the entire spring. And how has Vic Beasley repaid him? He's been terrible this year. And not only that, but also you look at the optics of, oh, he's gonna skip OTAs to have a charity.
He's gonna go. He's gonna go work out on his own. He doesn't want to work with Quinn.
Yeah, he doesn't want to go to Von Miller's pass rush summit and work out with him. But Vic Beasley is going to be doing his own thing, and I mean, good for him for helping out the community with like a charity basketball event. But you couldn't have found another time to do that, instead of working on your craft a little bit. And Vic Beasley, I just don't get it, because I've personally been in situations before where someone has really gone to bat for me, and I've done everything in my power, not for myself, but to make that person look good, just because of the trust that they put in me. And then you look at Vic Beasley, and he just looks like he doesn't care. Like, Vic Beasley, not only will he not be on the Falcons, but he shouldn't even be in the NFL at this point. Yeah. And he's going to cost his head coach his job for it. But, keep cashing those checks, 44. You got it.
Yes. Keep cashing them checks. Yeah,
and he finally got on the stat sheet with 2 penalties on the same play.
On the same play.
At least he's on the stat sheet.
Oh, man. Yeah, I mean, Brad Jones, talking about he doesn't think the talent is the issue. The defense isn't put into position to succeed. And I think that's true to an extent. Like, I think this defense has enough talent to be average. Like, I don't think they're a world beater by any means. I mean, I think Isaiah Oliver has just been an outright disaster. But even then, like, I feel like if this defense was schemed better, they could be average. I don't know how you feel about that, but like, obviously Devondre Campbell has been awful, but I think Foye Oluokun looked good in this game.
Has talent. Like Grady, you can't tell me that Grady Jarrett isn't talented, or Deion Jones, or Desmond Trufant. I mean, even Isaiah Oliver. Like, I'm still not ready to outright call Oliver a bust yet. He hasn't been put in any position to succeed. Yeah. He was still a 2nd-round pick. He has the tools.
Oh yeah. He's not a bust yet, but he's been really poor. He's played really poor this year, but he's not doing any of the things he should be doing. Like, he should be pressing guys. Like, he should be Richard Sherman. Like, he should be up on the line pressing people with his size. Like, I don't know why the hell we're not doing this. Like, why draft him if you don't want to use him like that? Yeah, exactly.
Because it worked in 2013 when he had the most talent, maybe one of the 5 most talented defenses of all time, definitely the most talented secondary of all time. And, it's his way or the highway. Yeah. There's no adjustments. In the NFL, it's adapt or die. And we're dying. Yeah. We're dying week in and week out.
They can't adapt. I mean, we got the 2, we got Dirk Cutter and Dan Quinn. And at least Dirk Cutter has, like, put together a unit that's not an abomination. I mean, it's not good. Like, I think the talent is totally... Like, I think they're succeeding in spite of Cutter, not because of Cutter. Like, this emphasis on running Devontae Freeman up the middle, like, sure, it worked against the Cardinals, like, bottom of the league run defense, but, like, it's been terrible every other week. We've seen Devontae Freeman and these running backs succeed in zone scheme, yet we seem to have abandoned it to whatever the hell Cutter wants to run. He's stopped running all the Shanahan concepts. Like, why are you here? Like, get out. You know what I'm saying? Like why we didn't why hire him if we're just going to take the offense back to 2012? Like, it's 2019. Like, stop it.
Yeah, the NFL has changed over the past 7 years, and Dirk Cutter, he should definitely be on the outs. And hopefully we find an offensive-minded head coach to where, like, Dirk Cutter isn't even needed. Someone who may a young offensive mind who's going to maybe call his own plays. Maybe we'll see some motions, some RPOs out there.
All these, like, very, advanced offensive concepts that, only the greatest of all. Wait, you're telling me, like, almost every college offense uses these? What? Oh, no.
I mean, no, they don't know what they're doing if they don't line up in the I formation on 1st and 10 and just
exotic smash it up. Well, we do have Mike Mularkey, so we should have known there would be some exotic smash mouth. But man, it's like I know we're dunking on the offense now, but it's like they should have been scoring 30 plus points every single week up till this point.
Yeah, I mean, you look at it, Austin Hooper is better and better every year. Like, he's been a top 5 tight end in the NFL this year. Austin Hooper is killing it right now. You have Julio Jones, you have Calvin Ridley. Like, this team is talented. Matt Ryan is out there.
Yeah.
And it's not working out, and the brunt of the blame goes to the defense, of course, but the offense hasn't been it either.
Yeah. No, it's definitely the defense's problem. Like, because if Ryan and the offense can score more than 30 points a game, that's all we need, in essence. But like it's just so much talent's being squandered, and the coaching staff is not adjusting, particularly on the defensive side, and it's just embarrassing, like how they're getting picked apart by, it's like the battle of the offensive minds, like Cliff Kingsbury, the modern, young offensive guy, with a terrible defense, against Dan Quinn, defensive head coach with a terrible defense, and Dirk Cutter running his, scheme from the early 2000s. And, like, of course, guess what? The newer scheme won. The coach with, that has way less talent on his defense and, like, obviously a much less talented offense, too, succeeded because, guess what? Scheme matters a lot in the NFL. And if you're just going to force your players to line up and beat their man every play, you're wasting your time, and you're wasting the team's time, and you're wasting the fans' time. So.
And 0 sacks this game. Haven't had a sack since week 3.
Yep. Yep. They can't get a sack, man.
Yeah, so that's fantastic.
Yeah. It's because we keep rushing 3. If we go down to rushing 2, we'll get one. Drop 9 in coverage.
Let's just not rush anyone.
Yeah, if we just play max coverage, like, they can't possibly complete a pass,
Yeah. I remember a few weeks ago when the Saints were playing the Cowboys on Sunday Night Football, and the Saints won that game because they have a competent head coach. The Cowboys were in position for a Hail Mary on the final play of the game from around their 50-yard line. And you know what the Saints did? They blitzed. They brought pressure to where they overloaded the offensive line. They brought one extra man to where the Cowboys didn't even have time to get their receivers all the way to the end zone. And Dak Prescott had to just throw one up, which ended up landing 20 yards short of the end zone. Incomplete, game is over. I think actually picked off. That pass was picked off, but either way, game is over. You know what Dan Quinn would have done on that play? I think Dan Quinn would have rushed 1 or 2 players.
Would have rushed 2, man. He did it he did it at some point last week, I think.
Yeah,
it was the end of half.
He would have lined everyone else other than those 2 rushers up at our 10-yard line. Like, at our 10-yard line and, like, positioned in the end zone. Like, that's what would have happened.
Yep. Just giving them a free opportunity for a jump ball.
Yeah, I mean, sure, on Hail Marys, fine. But this man pretty much does that, like, on regular plays on defense. You remember that Titans always goes back to that Titans play on 3rd and 15. You're lining everyone up.
Picket fence, buddy.
You're lining everyone up on the first down line, and your players can't tackle because Dan Quinn's players have been trash at tackling since he got here in Atlanta. Every single week, every single year, tackling is always a massive issue, and his scheme is predicated on you have to tackle them immediately, no missed tackles, and I'm just sick of it. I'm ready for him to go. I don't care who the next head coach is.
It doesn't matter. That's the thing. Like, I know people are like, oh, well, who do you promote? Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all.
Everyone's going to be gone in the offseason anyway, and they should be.
No, like, we're not trying to win games anymore. Like, we're here, like, we're just trying to get through the season. The Falcons have, like, 3 previous head coaches on their team. They can, like, cobble something together until the end of the season. Like, don't worry about who are they gonna bring in. Like, that doesn't matter. Like, it's more about who they hire at the end of the season, because I don't think any of these guys are surviving. I think they all know that. So just, like, you're not firing Quinn to win this year. Like, don't get that in your head. Like, it's not firing Quinn to improve. You're firing Quinn to send a message to everyone that this is unacceptable, that if you're the players, you need to start you need to prove to us now that you can stick around. And if you're the coaching staff, like you can't put this out on the field every Sunday and get away with it. Like you're not guaranteed to make it through the season just because you got close to a Super Bowl one time or you had a good season. A couple. You also blew it. So there's also that. But
maybe if he had won the Super Bowl, then it would be like, all right, sure. Like Mike McCarthy last year. He won a Super Bowl and they let him finish out the year.
Super Bowl buys you 5 years. It just does. Like that's just how it is, and that's okay. Like we'd probably still be so happy about the Super Bowl that it wouldn't matter that they were terrible this year. But instead, we get one of the worst games of all time, and they're also bad this year. So it's just a double jeopardy for Quinn. Time to go.
Yeah, and it's like if you really wanted to fire Quinn to win this year, should have done it after the Titans game.
Yeah,
I came on here after the Titans game and I ranted about how Dan Quinn should no longer be the team's head coach, but they decided to stick with him, and now it's draft season.
Yeah, it's rough. Like I know people are asking about what about Dimitroff, Max Contreras. Like that Dimitroff I think is a harder one to answer because Arthur Blank clearly really likes Dimitroff and he trusts him, and Dimitroff has with 2 head coaches now like pretty consistently had average to above average drafts. So like if you're gonna fire, it's kind of how I felt about Sark last year. Like if you're gonna fire Dimitroff, you need to have someone else in mind who's going to be an improvement. You can't just fire him just to fire him. Like you have to do something to improve the position, or you're just firing people to make yourself and the fans feel better. And no offense to you guys and to us, but like firing someone just because the fans want it is not smart for business. Firing someone to send a message, I guess, is. So maybe that could be why they fired Dimitroff. Like, you presided over this. It's not good enough. Get out. But it's like I guess we all should have known better after Quinn got rid of all the coordinators last year. That is such an unprecedented move, such an unusual move. And for him to be like, it's everyone else but me, and then be this bad, it's like, wow, you've been full of shit this whole time. Like that, like, oh my God, like it was actually you the whole time, and like I can't believe you hoodwinked everyone.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know where Marquand Manuel is right now, but I'm sure he's watching this defense with such satisfaction.
Yes.
Like if I was him, oh my goodness, I would be enjoying the hell out of this right now.
Yeah.
Because it was Dan Quinn this entire time.
Yeah, it was his scheme.
Marquand Manuel was just a scapegoat. Steve Sarkisian was the scapegoat. Everyone was the scapegoat for Dan Quinn to survive. And you know what? We've run out of scapegoats.
Yep. Now there's no one else to blame.
Dan Quinn's on the chopping block, and he's gone. He's gone come the bye week.
Yeah.
But it'll be too late. It's too late now.
Yeah, I mean they're not going to save the season with that firing, but it would. I think if you do fire, like I think obviously Arthur Blank needs to get rid of Quinn sooner rather than later, so we can start evaluating these players outside of this god awful scheme. And also to like make it clear that the Falcons vacancy is open. And as much as people talk about like, oh, tampering, you can't talk to anyone, like conversations occur and words are discussed and these sorts of things. And for it to be made clear that the Falcons head coaching, the Falcons have a vacancy at head coach earlier than later, I think will be beneficial in the coaching search. That's just my opinion.
And it's a pretty attractive head coaching spot. Like this isn't the Redskins' job right now. Like you have Matt Ryan for a few more years, you have Julio Jones for a few more years, Calvin Ridley, Austin Hooper. Like for an offensive-minded head coach, this is a pretty attractive destination. And not only that, Chris Lindstrom, whom you just took to be your franchise guard, Caleb McGarry, whom you just took to be your franchise right tackle. You have your franchise left tackle, Jake Matthews, in place. Mm-hmm. It's not like you're coming in here and working with just like a blank slate right now.
No.
You have the tools. Like this is a team that's primed to win now. And you have that chance. And then like in a few years, if the new head coach is good enough, you can possibly start transitioning away from Matt Ryan when it comes time for Matt Ryan to retire. And then you can bring in your own guy to be your next franchise quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of why this it's kind of why this job is like doubly attractive because you have Matt Ryan and Julio to get started with in this kind of core here. And then, in like 5 to 6 years, whenever Matt Ryan starts to slow down, you can start over with a quarterback of your choosing and that sort of thing. And you can start over, but you have, you don't have to start from scratch. Like you have this offensive line, and the offensive line is going to be young. Like right guard, right tackle, super young, just drafted. Jake Matthews probably has at least another 6-7 years left. They're going to need a new center soon.
Austin Hooper is there.
Austin Hooper's not going anywhere, by the way. Like I know people are saying they can't afford Hooper. They're gonna sign Hooper. Don't worry. Like they're gonna find a way. They're gonna cut whoever they need to cut to give Hooper whatever money he wants.
Devondre Campbell, goodbye.
Yeah, Devondre Campbell's walking out the door. No offense to Sanu. Sanu's played fine. It's not about that. It's just financially. Goodbye. Yeah. Ricardo Allen, unfortunately, bye.
DeMonte Casey's waiting in the wings.
Yeah, DeMonte Casey needs to go back to safety because he's not a good corner. Like, it's just not working out. And maybe he'll look better over the course of the season, but as of right now, 10 times better at safety. Just too easy. There's you can trim the fat. James Carpenter, bye. Tyson Braylo, get out. Clean out your lockers. That sort of thing. But
and you'll have a top 5 pick to work with this year, hopefully.
Hopefully, famous last words. Yeah, I think we had a show last year when they were officially in the top 5, and then they won 3 or 4 games to close out the season. Yeah, but typical.
Which I still look back and I still hate that we won those games.
Yeah, we could have had Oliver and Grady Jarrett. That would be the dirtiest interior combo, man. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and then you get Chase Young this year.
Oh my God!
And then you have Oliver, Jarrett, Chase Young, and Tack on your defensive line.
Which I think Tack is fine, by the way. Like I think Tack, when he's playing on a winning team, will be a really really good player. But I think surrounded by all this, I think Tack, if you watch him play, he's a good barometer of where the defense and the team is as a whole in terms of their mental state. If Tack is not playing well, it's because the whole team is like sucking it up. And if the team is playing well, I feel like Tack turns it on. So, maybe that's not ideal, but I don't think Tack is a problem necessarily. I know.
I mean, it beats Vic Beasley sucking even if the team is good or bad.
Just universal suck versus polarizing suck. So, yeah. Hey, Chase Young. That's right. Let's go. Win just one for Young, okay? And then, hey, if we really
getting behind
no,
that. I'm not getting
behind that. I had to have something with one in it to rhyme with Young. Like we need ideas for other hashtags because we're definitely gonna beat the Saints twice, So
so it'll be win just 3 for Young.
Yeah, that doesn't work. We're gonna have to figure it out. Yeah. Suck a big one for Young. How about that?
That may not be appropriate.
Yeah, it's probably not appropriate. Yeah, we're gonna workshop that. So, it's just sad to see where the team is. 1-5. They're basically done. And it's a long rest of the season, but I think that there are some things you can do in a lost season like this. Like we need to play Jordan Miller and Kendall Sheffield and get them out there on the field and see what they can do.
Sheffield looked nice today.
Yeah, I thought Sheffield was fine. We need to see what Jordan Miller can do. Deidre Sanat, for God's sake, let this man take some snaps. Like, what does this man have to do to get on the football field? Let him play, Let him play.
Probably parked in Dan Quinn's parking spot.
One time, and yeah, he's been in the doghouse ever since. Yep.
Dan Quinn wasn't even in town.
No, but he knew. He has one of those Nest cams set up on the spot at all times. So,
he's more worried about that than the game plan.
Exactly. That is the game plan. Okay. Who's taking my spot this week? But it's rough out there. And if you guys do enjoy the show, please do throw us a like. That helps the video get out to more people on YouTube that may not have found it yet. And then if you're not already subscribed, we appreciate those subscriptions as well. You guys helped us get to 1,000 subscribers last week. That's really cool, so we appreciate that. It's a big milestone for us. All right, Nan, what are some final takes from you before we wrap up tonight's show?
Well, for one, it's draft season.
Hashtag
draft season. Had we won this game, then it would be like, all right,
All right.
2-4. We'll see what you can do against the Rams.
You're
You didn't
telling
look
me
that
there's a
good this
chance.
week. The Seahawks, we always play them close, especially at home. Then it's the bye week, and then nope, none of that.
Yep.
You win these next 2 games, and you're 3-5. Like, what's that getting you at all? You're not going to sweep the Panthers this year.
No.
I'm never going to say you're not going to sweep the Saints, because that's just blasphemous.
We have to keep that hope alive, no matter what.
It would be great if we swept the Saints, and then we kind of let the Panthers take this division and let them win the division. Like in 2013, that's what we did.
Yeah.
Like in 2013, the Panthers won this division. We were about to beat them in Atlanta in Week 17, and the Saints would have taken the division. And then I remember we were on a drive to win the game, and we had this terrible snap where we just lost the ball and lost the game.
I'm saying,
I'm not saying conspiracy,
but good on you, Matt Ryan. Good on you.
Yeah. I mean,
man of the people, Matt Ryan.
Anything to hurt the Saints.
Anything really. Yeah.
but no, legitimately for real, it's just time. It's been time for Dan Quinn to go. I'm looking forward to coming out of the bye week with a new head coach, even if that's Dirk Cutter.
Yeah.
It'll just anything other than having to watch this defense week in and week out. It's just pathetic at this point, and I can't. It's not fun.
No.
We came into this season so excited for this season. Everything was we were looking at the schedule when it first came out. We were having our takes. This defense may be top 10 in the league this year. This offense may get back to 2012, the way it was in 2012, because 2016 was still too.
Yeah, it's too high. Yeah.
Yeah, too high of a mark. But it's just so not fun at this point. I'm not enjoying football Sundays at all outside of fantasy football.
Yeah.
I'm going into these Falcons games just cringing at this point at the thought of what our defense is going to do.
What are they going to do this week? Yeah.
Yeah, how are they going to embarrass us this week? And, the Braves embarrassed themselves this past week.
Sadly, I did hear
Georgia
about that.
lost to South Carolina.
Yep. It's a rough week. This is a rough week. Yeah.
It's been a rough week.
Yep.
In Atlanta. It's been a rough week in the 404. And Hawks season starts in 11 days, so they couldn't even get me to basketball season before their year ended.
Nope, they can't even carry us to November before it's draft season.
You couldn't even get us to November.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
Yeah, that's all I got. That team is a dumb.
Yeah. Oh, Rogel Dorn. Probably butchered your name. I apologize. Anytime an owner has to give the vote of confidence, it means that the coach is getting fired. That's absolutely right. If the coach actually has to come on, to a press conference and say, hey, this is our coach, we think he can turn it around. We think we can right the ship. That means he's getting fired imminently. Oh.
Okay, I think my feet cut off for a second.
Nope, that's okay. All right, it duplicated you. It's funny. Okay, it's fine. It doesn't matter. It's just funny. Okay. Yeah, no, it's no big deal. It's a tech thing, but it's just I see a little window for where you used to be, and then your new window. But who cares?
Yeah, it's double the disappointment, just like the Falcons.
Double the takes.
Disappointment in offense and in defense.
Oof. Yep. But it's real sad. It's real bad. There's not really much else to say about that. So we'll, truck through this game, and give you some. On Wednesday, we'll be back trucking through this game, watching it again, maybe if I feel, if I feel strong enough. If I feel strong enough. Offensive plays only. And then Wednesday night we'll be back to kind of break down this game some more, talk about, where we go from here. Next week, they get to that 6th loss, man. It's officially draft season. We can start doing some mock drafts,
Yeah, we play the Rams next
hell
week.
Yeah.
I'm going to be in the building for that one.
Oh, yeah. Congratulations.
Oh, God.
Yeah. I'm going to be there on the...
I was so looking forward to it before the season started. The Rams game, that'll be a good one. Now it's just Oh my God, dear God, what's Sean McVay gonna do to our defense?
Yep, it's gonna be dirty. It's gonna do us dirty. I tell you that. And just make sure you enjoy the press box food. You can still enjoy that, even though
that'll be the best part.
Yeah, no, sometimes it is. I think every game I've gone to, they've won. So I'm gonna go to 2 this year. So that's gonna hurt us. But it's there's nothing I can do about that. Work obligations and whatnot. But hey. Sorry I couldn't get to some games while they were still relevant, folks. That's scheduling conflicts and whatnot. But
I mean, we'll be looking back like at the end of the year, like, damn it, why did Aguilar have to drop that pass?
Yeah, could have guaranteed us our first 0-16.
I'm not gonna go that far.
Yep.
We can finally have a parade like the Browns did.
Yes, we could have the anti-parade or whatever. The parade of hatred. Yep. And we're gonna go on, like a 15 game or like what is it gonna be, like a 12 game losing streak, 14 game losing streak, and then next year we're gonna have the coolers that are gonna open when we win our first game. So there you go.
It'll be worth it just for that.
Yep.
To be honest.
Just for the takes and the coolers opening, the failing to open because they couldn't believe that they won a game. So, but yeah,
we'll beat the Jets on Thursday night.
There you go. Hey. Some hope at last.
In 2020.
Oh yeah, we did win that preseason game. It was lit. Yeah, that's true. Finally broke the streak, only to enter into another streak that was even worse.
Yeah, this time the streak is losing games that actually matter.
I would go back to the streak. I'm so sorry, streak. Take us back. Hopefully it will be better. No,
we didn't know how good we have it with that preseason losing streak.
Nope. Dang it. If only we could go back and change our ways, but we can't, sadly, and it is what it is, folks. It's bad football all around, but you guys aren't bad. We love you guys. Thanks for coming and hanging out, and hopefully we'll be talking about Quinn getting fired here pretty soon, because I think it's time. It is time. We've reached the zenith. Yeah, well, you were probably right about that, but we all knew that Blank was never going to fire him after week 4.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be surprised if he gets fired this week, honestly.
Bring back Petrino.
No, too hot. Cut you off.
That's a scalding take right there.
Oh, man, that's like explosive. But still not as hot as the Matt Ryan sucks takes. But, hey, it's you guys. Somebody's got to have those bad takes. Somebody out there.
I remember everything Matt Ryan's gone through. I remember a few years ago, someone was talking about how we needed to give Dominique Davis a chance at quarterback.
Yes, Dominique Davis. Hell yeah.
Bench Matt Ryan. Dominique Davis had like a game in the preseason where he threw for like 110 yards, and all of a sudden all the Matt Ryan haters were saying that.
It's time. Dominique Davis, load him up. Let's go.
We need a dual threat.
As soon as he left Atlanta, his career was just over. So, hey, Mike Smith, what a nice guy giving Dominique Davis a job. But, hey, we can do better. So, hey, Kurt Benkert, we're going to have the quarterback controversy next year. The quarterback controversy, if you will.
It'll be an exciting preseason next year. The QB2 spot is up for grabs.
Yeah. Hell yeah. All right. Let's get out of here. We're talking about the QB2 battle now. It's too soon for that. So,
too soon for draft season, too, but it's only
much too soon for the QB2 roster battle. But yeah, guys, we do appreciate you tuning in and hanging out with us to make these losses a little bit more palatable.
Misery loves company.
Yes, it does. So if you haven't followed the wonderful Adnan Ikic on Twitter, he's at SayWhich I'm Kevin Knight, at Falcoholic Kevin. Like I said, if you guys don't mind throwing the video a like, that does help out. And if you're not subscribed already, definitely do that. It's very helpful, I've found, for reminding you when new videos post. So if you can't watch the show live every week, that will remind you when the show is available to watch, the replay or whatever, so you can catch it there. So I found that to be handy personally. But do what you got to do. That's fine. But thank you guys once again, Falcons fans. We're gluttons for punishment apparently because we keep coming back for more. But couldn't have any other team. That's just how it is. And maybe one day we'll reach the promised land, and that will make it so much more enjoyable, right?
God, why couldn't we be the Patriots?
Yeah, but that would be boring, right? We just winning all the time.
Winning would be boring.
Yeah, just winning all the time. Just having
Can
the
you
goat.
imagine if we were on the other side of the 28-3 comeback?
No one would even care.
Talking about it.
They don't even talk about it that much because it's like, oh, it's just our 6th ring here. Look, I can't even fit them on one hand. Who cares? Like, they don't matter anymore to the Patriots fans. Like, they're so spoiled. It's just like, who cares, right? Go look, we got another one. Yeah, well, yeah,
I'd absolutely trade what we have for that.
No, I'm not saying I wouldn't, but I'm just saying that the Patriots fans, they don't deserve any more rings because they don't even matter to them anymore.
Oh no, they don't deserve them, but yeah. They have the Red Sox 2 winning, the Celtics at least 1 in my lifetime. I've never seen, other than like United.
Yeah.
I've never seen like an Atlanta championship in my lifetime.
Yeah.
The Braves won in '95. I was born after that.
Yeah, that was too late for me as well. Too soon. Whatever.
God, what a life.
What a life. Yep, we get to see all the sad times, except for United. United carrying the torch, so good for those guys. But, all right, guys, like I said, we'll be back on Wednesday, 8:10 p.m. Eastern Time. We will see you then. Try to enjoy the rest of your football Sunday and football week until we speak to you again. And don't let the Falcons depress you. It's not worth it. But what am I saying? Of course they're going to depress us. There's no way around it. All right. Thank you for tuning in once again, folks. Have a great night.